Welcome everyone to this video, and in this video we'll be looking at the evolution of the game God of War from its debut year 2005 to the year 2022, and we'll be looking at how the game changed and in what ways. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is the first version of the God of War 2005, the first installment of the game God of War, which was released in 2005 for the console PlayStation 2, and it was released by Sony Computer Entertainment, definitely developed by Santa Monica Studios, however published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It sold more than 4 million copies, making it the 14th best-selling game of all time for the PlayStation 2. Coming on to the next variant of the game, this was the God of War II, released in 2007 with pretty much the same graphics and the story, however with different settings and different missions and checkpoints definitely, but more or less the game remained the same with mostly all the same graphics and such, power effects such as these, and the controls were typically the same. However, there were just minor improvements in the graphics, such as you can see the settings were more realistic and players could battle, just as previously, some monsters with special controls. Coming on to the third installation of the God of War, which is the God of War Betrayal in 2007. This was the first original non-PlayStation console game, which meant that this game was not officially released for PlayStation, however it was played on mobile phones, and that is why the graphics were pretty awkward compared to its predecessors. It was a side-scrolling two-dimensional game. So coming on to the fourth installment of the game, the God of War Chains of Olympus in 2008, where the game was back on its PlayStation consoles, retaining its three-dimensional graphics, the same character in the story, however different settings again, with significant graphical improvements in this case, such as the smoothness and the realistic graphics, such as these, I would say, these effects of blood coming out, however with less power effects. So this game was a major milestone in terms of graphics. The God of War Collection is a remastered port of God of War and God of War II for the PlayStation 3, which means you can play this incredible game on PlayStation 3 controls, and that is what the major change in this variant was, that this game was now compatible as a remastered version for the PlayStation 3. The next variant was God of War III in 2010, with no obvious graphical changes, however, such as different settings and different effects in the game, and different definitely gadgets and uses of different presets of the game, which were the major changes. Other than that, the graphics remained the same, therefore there were no such obvious differences in the game, such as the settings and other effects or any graphical improvements. So the game remained the same with different settings, and that's what the major changes were. The next one is God of War Ghost of Sparta in 2010, the same year as the previous predecessor. However, in this game you may see that there are more of climbing graphics that are more realistic, such as this guy can climb more bricks and walls, which has improved the graphics a lot, and that is the significant improvement. And considering these beasts, they look more realistic with more harder and tougher ways to beat them out with different combinations of controls, and this is what makes the game a whole lot more interesting, considering the difficulty was increased slightly. The next installation is God of War Origins Collection 2011, which definitely has no other changes other than that there are some new characters in the game, and that the player has a lot of, I would say, abilities extended, and with extensive use of controls. The God of War Saga is a collection of 5 games from the God of War series, and is one of the first in Sony's new line of the PlayStation collections. It was released on August 28, 2012 for the PlayStation 3. The games retain the same features seen in their previous PS3 releases. In addition to the games, the collection features exclusive bonus content and a voucher for a 1-month trial of PlayStation Plus. Now, God of War Ascension in 2013 was based on such Taken-type settings with different players cozying in, beasts cozying in again. You got the traditional beasts that are hard to beat with combat combo combinations of controls through which this player can sort of like defeat these beasts. This was a traditional part of the game, which remained the part of the game further as well. So the major change were the settings and the graphics being a little more smoother, and the camera being more reality focused on the player. The next was the God of War Collection Vita in 2014. This was released for the official PlayStation Vita, not for the PlayStation console, however, for the PS Vita, with standard controls such as the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. However, the graphics were meant for the PS Vita, which is why there were no dramatic improvements. Coming on to God of War III Remastered in 2015, there was a major improvement in its graphics in terms of camera smoothness and the way the camera is focused on the players and the way the camera changes its directions, which made the game a whole lot more realistic and a whole lot more dramatizing for the players, which made the gameplay much more enchanted. And other than that, again, we have this typical beast coming in, which could be defeated by these combo controls on the console, and this was back again on the console of the PlayStation 3. Coming on to God of War in 2018, saw major improvements in terms of its first-person, not first-person I would say, it would be like a third-person view. However, the graphics were much more significantly improved, considering that players and these characters were controlled in much more realistic ways, and the graphics such as these walls breaking and then these snowballs and the snow being hit and these after effects were much more improved, which made the gameplay much more intriguing and interesting. God of War: A Call from the Wild is a text-based game, which means that players would insert commands in form of text upon which progress will be made in the game, and this was released on Facebook, designed to tie in with the 2018 God of War game. Players are supposed to explore the Norse wilds, and the game consists of several chapters. However, one that makes it to the end will unlock 8 pieces of concept art. So over here we come at the 9th and the final till date installment of the God of War installment, which is the God of War Ragnarök of 2022. Here the game was originally to be released in 2022 for the PlayStation 5, however Sony decided to let the game be set for PlayStation 4 as well until this year, and as you can see the graphics are much more realistic with these reality-based effects such as these snowflakes, and look at that. The amazing after effects of these and camera cuts that make the game a whole lot more interesting are the major improvements, and the graphics are much more reality based, which intrigues the players the most. And we've got these slow-mo effects, these after effects of these battles, which makes the game a whole lot more reality based and makes it a major milestone in terms of graphical improvements. And this is how the game God of War evolves over time. I hope you liked the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, give this video a big thumbs up, share this video, and share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you next time with another cool video. Until then, take care of one another, and peace out.